2015 Microsoft study found that the average human attention span is 8 seconds. 8 seconds. That tells me that several of you may have already been going off into space, and that's fine. The goldfish is kicking our butt right now. Goldfish have an attention span of 9 seconds. That upsets me. I'm coming for you, goldfish. I want to fix this. So, as a learning development professional, something that I think can fix this is called microlearning. What is microlearning? Microlearning, if you Google it, there's a lot of different definitions out there. I kind of went through and curated the biggest takeaways for me for microlearning. We'll have 2 points. First point is, 1, learning objective. How many of you have been in a training class or listened to somebody talk and you get this fire hose of information? It's way, way, way too much. So microlearning asks the person that creates it to focus on 1 learning objective. Secondly, how is it delivered to the audience? Is it appropriate for the learners? So I think a lot of times that is not necessarily taken into consideration when building education and training. I want to share an example of something that I did back in 2009 when I was at Amazon. One of the things I really liked about working at Amazon was we got to go to different sectors of the business. I worked on the Kindle team, and I was an instructional designer. One thing that I got to do is I got to visit the fulfillment centers, and I really enjoyed that because it was completely chaotic, completely crazy. One thing that I noticed, though, is in all the hustle and bustle, all this technology was on the floor, but the associates weren't allowed to have any technology of their own. They weren't allowed to have laptops or cell phones or things of that nature. So as an observer, I found that very odd. And I remember I was watching, and when it was break time, I would see this mass exodus like this, like zombies, to the locker room for people to go in, get their phones, and they hightail it out to the parking lot, and they get on their phones. And I was like, what an awesome opportunity this is. So I pitched the idea. Have you guys ever been to an airport to use the free Wi-Fi and you have to watch an ad to get on? Amazon offered free Wi-Fi, but again, the users, they would get on it on their breaks, their paid breaks, rather. And what I was really interested in is you have a captive audience when they sign into the captive portal. How could we use that? So we designed a series of just little 30-second videos about just what's going on for the day, like an announcement. And they made it fun. So they used gamification in order to make it a little bit more fun for the associates. So for example, they'd say, the first 5 people that tell their team lead about something in the video, you get an extra break or something to that effect. It was a big hit. So that's something I was proud of. It was micro-learning before I knew micro-learning existed, so maybe I was a little bit ahead of the curve. But the reason that I bring that up is, again, I just feel like there's so much knowledge out there, and it's so dense, and a lot of times it can feel like you are a fish swimming around and you don't know what's going on. So back to the example of the video on the captive portal. 1, learning objective, just basically the announcements of the day, and 2, it did fit what they needed for the time because they did have access to the technologies to access it on their paid breaks. Didn't want them to do it on their lunch or whatever. So, in conclusion, I think it's very important that this is brought to life. We're getting beat by fish. I have a problem with that. And last time I checked, there's not learning and development sharks or instructional designers in the sea. So I really, really think that we can do better. So one thing that I want to bring up is I'm sorry that I used a lot of fish analogies. I feel guilty about it. Thank you.